Alright, folks. Now on the Russian server's main website, there is a big ass timer countdown to one of the biggest reveal for their server only, and that is tier 11s in 230 days. So next January or February, you'll likely see tier 11 vehicles from tier 10s, but translate this page into English, and the game will be 14 years old, and it's constantly developed by 𝗪ＣE anyways, but branch of technology were introduced, various game events were launched, many experiments were conducted, blah blah blah, but today we are teasing the upcoming January 22nd of 2025 for tier 11 vehicles, tanks 11 level. So be sure to check back on this page for more development and other stuff, but let's take a look at the trailer. It's only a teaser, but
Миру танков почти 14 лет. И все это время 10-й уровень был венцом развития. Но мы готовы к изменениям. Долгие эксперименты и работа над новыми механиками привели нас к важному решению.
it's just a bunch of tier 10s. Also artillery. EBR, Bad Chat, these are only tier 10s, so nothing has been leaked, but tier 11 artillery? That would be nice. Oh god, gross.
Техника 11 уровня уже в разработке. Первые танки утверждены, а производство запущено. Все игроки смогут прокачать новые машины абсолютно бесплатно. Релиз назначен на 22 января 2025 года. Следите за новостями на 𝗏анки.су, где мы расскажем о нациях, ролях и уникальных особенностях новых машин. Впереди много интересного. Скучно точно не будет.
Yeah, obviously Russia will be one of the nations, no questions. And that's it. That is it. Ugh, God. It is a very quick teaser, but yeah, tier 11 won't solve all the problems. It won't change anything, right? So the meta will still be the same. You'll still have tomatoes at tier 11. It's not going to change anything. It's just, yeah, new stuff like new premium tier 10s and other stuff, but yeah, tier 11s, we already have that for armor warfare. It doesn't change anything much. It's still the same meta. The game is still broken. You still have BZ-176 at tier 8. So there's plenty of problems, and tier 11s won't do anything about it. So unfortunately, it is something new. It is shiny, and yeah, seems nice, but okay. I mean, it is only for 𝗪ＣE Studios, so yeah, something vehicles like these will be kind of crazy, right? So space armor, like active protection system, maybe even missiles. The Sheridan can finally get the 𝗪𝗟, hopefully. Not really. So ERAs, active protection system, coaxial machine gun, I doubt it. Too much coding, but yeah, tier 11s will be a thing. So it's not the first time, and the grass is always greener on the other side, right? The tits are always bigger on the neighbor's wife, but yeah, the Russian server has their meta. Yeah, it could seem good, but remember, they have stuff like this, which is a cockroach that has 250 base armor at the hull front. It's a flamethrower that stuns you. It's also fast with camo. So it's a thing. Russian server meta is a thing. So yeah, tier 11 might not be out of the realm of possibilities, but yeah, in today's meta, if this vehicle comes to pass, 400mm effective. Only shoot the nozzle and the cupola, but it's also fast. It also stuns you. Also lobs a shell, which is not really a shell. It's like a streaming jet of petroleum burning your flesh off. But yeah, this is a thing on their server. Also, assault artillery is a thing on their server. So take it with a grain of salt, but doesn't fix any of the problem. Doesn't really. Not really close. I've been playing this game for about 12 years now, and the old problems are still there. Now granted, the game has become so much easier to get to a tier 10, but let's just quickly break down what I think the biggest problem in World of Tanks. So obviously, the biggest problem that I feel right off the bat is maps. Not enough maps, not even close. You need more maps. This is definitely the simplest way of fixing World of Tanks, at least the stale problem. I get tired of playing on Himmelsdorf, on Ruinberg, like 10 times out of 12, right? So I want more maps. Give us all the recon maps. You had it. World of Tanks had it, but no, just all the recon maps would be nice. Balance them later. So World of Tanks, recon maps. Yeah, back in 2022, Jesus. It's been like 2 years, come on. Only that map made it. This map did not make it. This map did not. So, that's a Japanese map? Yeah. But so many maps. There were like 9 of them. Put them into the game and just modify them, right? Off the bat, or micro patch. That's not a big deal. We'll take it, right? It's not going to be that balanced right away, but at least if you do micro patches like once per month, balancing the maps, I don't care. Nobody will really complain about it. Makes more maps. That's the simplest way. That is the biggest way. No premium tanks, no need of loot boxes, just add more maps. Like a map pack every month, this will solve a lot of the problems. Now, second problem is obviously the meta. So obviously people will complain, matchmaking is a deal, right? You get blowouts. You get instant shutdowns and other stuff. Blowouts out of your back. So, yeah, matchmaking change. +1, -1. Common complaint, right? Common complaint. But that's not the source of the problem. In my opinion, that's not the source of the problem. The main problem is World of Tanks is way too goddamn easy, which is not a bad thing. You get to a tier 10 without mastering any parts of combat vehicles, like side scraping, like haul down, when to pull back, when to push to your advantage. Don't care. You already reached tier 10 by that point, right? So that's why you see tomatoes at tier 10. Lots of tomatoes. So it's a good thing, technically. You don't have to grind that much for a tier 10. But obviously not as much skill involved. So I don't think the matchmaking needs to be changed. You really need to change something about being rewarded, carrying your team of tomatoes, or more penalty for dumbass plays, especially being AFK. So this will weed out like the skill problem, increase the skill of the player base, right? Without any changing of the skill matchmaking or changing to the actual mechanic of the system. So always a simple tweak to the economics of the game, and that will basically boost the skill level. So what I mean is basically simple rules like if you don't move an inch, you get no XP. So this will weed out the AFKers. People are just botting. If no movement for at least 1 inch, you get no XP. 0 XP. This will shut down AFK. This will shut down you trying to like just grind like 300 XP and leave it blank until you reach like a tier 6. None of that. No movement, no XP. You can move an inch and that will count. But if your teammates push you, also doesn't count. Simple fix. Very simple rule. Change a lot of the AFKers, and if your game breaks, incentivize you to actually, look into your mods and other stuff, right? So no movement, no XP. Light tanks. Either they are god in playing light tanks or absolute dog water. Absolute crap. So light tanks needs a fix. This definitely needs a fix. Now, if you fix them too hard, they'll be way too good, spotting everybody without being penalized. But then again, I would rather have a godly light tank player than a mediocre tank destroyer or heavy tank player. So light tank is absolutely crap nowadays. EBR has been a problem all the time. The new autocannons, the VK71, the Czech autocannon light tanks won't solve that problem. They have a different matchmaking. Only EBR matchmakes with other EBRs. They won't be matchmake with light tanks, quote unquote. So the VZ71 will be matched with the Sheridan. It would not be matched with the EBR. So that's a problem. So autocannons won't fix the balancing of the EBRs. It won't fix stuff like the ELC EVN90. So yeah, your team for open field maps highly dependent on light tanks. So it's a very tilting position, and I mean sometimes they don't even spot, they just can't base. So yeah, light tanks needs a fix. Basically what I'm trying to say is buff the actual performance, the game economy. Buff the game economy, and this will buff the actual skill needed per tier. So what I mean is buff the performance if you actually do well and earn a epic medal like scouting or what's like Bradley Walters or I don't know, Pools medal. You actually get maybe gold, like 50 gold or 100 gold if you actually achieve an epic medal, right? So incentivize economic return. If your whole team is garbage but you actually carried, you get more out of it, like XP or credit and other stuff. You do have the courageous resistance stuff, but that's not enough. So if you want to people not complain as much about the tomatoes at high tier, buff the incentivization of better economic resources with the matchmaking. So this doesn't change as much with the matchmaking, doesn't change the actual mechanics, but just incentivize people. So they're already getting pissed off with the garbage matchmaking. At least they're paid out more with better rewards if they try to carry the game, right? So that's the biggest two changes. Maps is the simplest way. Map is the easiest, simplest way. Just add more maps. Just simple fix. Economic game resource change is a very different subject as well as the meta. So that's way too big of a can of worms. Just add more maps. The simplest fix to get players back to playing, add more maps. Add the third season or third campaign to the campaign missions for maybe like the Chieftain Mark 6. That's also nice. So people actually have more stuff to do other than playing for the Object 260 or playing for the 279 early. Give us more mission to play for new stuff like the MBT-B or Chieftain Mark 6, right? That would be nice. But yeah, finally, put the BZ76, 176 at tier 9. It will solve so many problems. It's been a year and a half. Come on, man. Put this vehicle at tier 9. Just give it a little bit more health. Give it slightly faster reload. And a little bit better accuracy, but not much. Put it at tier 10 or tier 9. Yeah, maybe even tier 10 also. But that vehicle is busted. I mean, you'll face off against that vehicle in a freaking tier 6. You'll face off against it in a freaking tier 7. It doesn't feel good, right? It does not feel good when you get smashed for sometimes 1000 alpha. This is not a balanced vehicle. It's not good for the game. Not really. Buff. Just change it to a tier 9. If people do complain, fund them. Refund them in gold. That'll be it. Solve so many of the problem. You don't have to nerf this vehicle. Not really. Just buff it to tier 9. Give it bomb making capability as any other tier 9. And make it a very rare vehicle. And that'll be it. But yeah. Well, there you go, folks. Just some ranting on my end. So yeah, matchmaking is a problem, but that's boiling down to how easy it is to play World of Tanks. Especially if you dump actually money into this game. Battle Pass will give you like blueprints and other stuff. Blueprints make this game way too easy. Way too easy. You don't have to actually grind any of the vehicles. Not really. Once you have research at a critical mass, you don't even need to grind any of the new tech tree. For example, I played this game a lot. I already researched all the stuff once a new tech tree comes out, I don't have to grind it. I just have to wait for daily missions to get the blueprints, and therefore it grinds it for me. It automatically goes towards vehicles you haven't researched, and once you reach a critical mass of researching everything, I don't need to grind. I don't need to grind the Polish tank destroyers that recently came out. Not really. So all I have to research is the actual gun, but that's practically nothing. So it's very easy to reach a tier 10. But then again, you don't learn any of the stuff, right? You don't learn how to pull back, how to differently engage or re-engage. So a lot of the new tactics or map awareness, you don't have that much experience. You see players with only like 2,000 games with a bunch of tier 10s. Tomatoes, right? Sabotaging your game, especially in light tanks. So I don't mind a tier 10 player with artillery that has only like 2,000 games. They're playing artillery, whatever. Do their best. But playing a critical role like a light tank, oh god. Feels bad, right? Very bad. But yeah, biggest, simplest solving of this or multiple problems in World of Tanks, just add more maps. Add more maps. It's not hard. You already have the maps on hold from recon missions. Why? Why do you persist, Mr. Anderson? Just add more maps. Tweak it every month with micropatch. That's fine. Stop giving us loot boxes. Stop giving us garbage ways of playing gambling with this game, right? You don't need it. All the premium tanks for the last year or so with the new tech tree needs to be gambled. The Type 5 Kari for the Japanese tank destroyers can only be gotten from the emerald boxes from last year's St. Patrick's Day. We also don't even have the Polish tank destroyer premium at tier 8. That's out of the question. So the BZ-176 from Holiday Ops loot boxes, you cannot even just buy the tier 8 trainer for the new tech tree. You have to play around with loot box. I think the GSOR 1010FB was on offer, but was it Waffen Trigger boxes or one of which? I don't know. So yeah, it has been nearly every month with a loot box. Stop it. I mean, then again, it's a different department, right? It's a marketing department versus actual game development department. So you can feel that game development department has been slacking off or being shelved or being resource cut. So not enough money goes into game development, more money goes into marketing. So that's the big downside. But hey, what the hell do I know? Just give us more maps. Give us there has been like 9 new maps, and like 2 or 3 got released from recon missions. Also, the old maps, they're fine. Just search up wiki for World of Tanks maps. You had them. I mean, granted, some of them are kind of risque or controversial because of the war in Ukraine, but old maps like the Japanese maps, those are fine, right? Empire Border, hate that map. Gigantic Great Wall of garbage prevents artillery shots. Where the hell are the old maps? There was one like Swamp in the middle. Yeah, all the new maps still there. Tundra still there. No, this one. No, that's not the railway map. Winter map. Oh my god, it's not that many. There's only like 4 desert maps and other stuff. Oh my god. You don't have the old maps on here? I thought it was the wiki. Dragon's Ridge, I remember that. Fiery Salient, that's practically Prokhorovka. Hidden Village. I like this map, especially in the Burt, but old ass map. Icebound was for Rampage with the rigging. Kharkov, controversial. Komarin, that's the one. That's one with the swamp in the middle. And basically all the heavy tanks goes towards the middle. But Minigard is for low tiers. Northwest, nice valley. I remember this map. Port, classic map. Rurenburg on fire. Also put the dark maps or night maps in the rotation. You don't need to have a downside like radio range being cut or view range being cut. You don't need that. Just a different skybox. Basically doubling your maps. But no, Sacred Valley, I remember this. All the heavy tanks goes here. All the medium tanks go here. I remember this map. Oh, 𝗧𝗏 I butchered the name, but I remember this map. All the medium tanks go here, all the heavy tanks go here, yada yada. I remember. South Coast, Stalingrad, Swamp. Yep, all the classic Windstorm, Winterberg, Winter Himmelsdorf. You have just add the old maps back without Kharkov or Stalingrad. That's fine. Add the recon maps back. Well, there you go, folks. Just me rambling. So, tier 11s won't solve anything. It seems good on paper, but the Russian server still has the crappy matchmaking as you would expect. A lot of tomatoes at tier 10, don't know what the hell they're doing, runs around like a headless chicken, gets nuked off like instantaneously, so push when they're not supposed to, camp when they're supposed to be pushing, you know, the deal. So they still have the garbage matchmaking just because they didn't fix their economy, so just add more maps. Economy, matchmaking, they're all tied in the same scenario, so it's a very difficult fix to weed out the tomatoes at tier 10. You have to give them more incentive to play or get better at the game. Whereas maps are easy. Just add more maps. So as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. There goes me ranting, but I'll cover the tier 10s or tier 11s coming on the Russian server. So they seem interesting, but yeah, Leopard 2s. Leopard 2 A7? I doubt it. That would be like tier 13, tier 14. So they don't have like the M1 A3 or something like that. I doubt it. So it'll be just more recent of a tier 11, like a M1 basic version of the Abrams with the 105, not the 120. I mean, they have to introduce like composite armor, Chobun armor, reactive armor and other stuff, active protection system, rocket system. It's more coding, and it's pain in the ass, but who the hell knows. So as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.